Welcome to another episode of Game Boy Roulette, where we take a look at randomly chosen games from the Game Boy library. Bust-A-Move 2. Ooh, this series has got a history. In order to talk about how important Bust-A-Move was, we must first talk about the company behind it, Taito. The year is 1986, and Taito, most well known for creating Space Invaders, is having trouble maintaining relevancy. In an attempt to recapture the magic, they developed the utterly charming and fun arcade game Puzzle Bobble. The game was a massive hit and was released for numerous consoles, giving Taito a major shot in the arm for years to come. Fast forward to 1994, and Taito is looking to recapture that magic again, this time with a puzzle-based spin-off to Puzzle Bobble, a game called Puzzle Bobble in Japan and Bust-A-Move in the US. The game, based on shooting colored orbs to match them, was an instant hit as well, and inspired numerous similar games in the following decade, such as Snood, Zuma, and even Worms Blast. It's hard to overstate just how important Puzzle Bobble was, and of course it had tons of sequels, ports, and re-releases, with another one for the Nintendo Switch scheduled for release in 2023. Bust-A-Move 2, released in 1998, was one of two games in the series playable on the Game Boy, the other being a Game Boy Color backwards compatible release. But Bust-A-Move was always known for quick gameplay and, more importantly, very colorful graphics. I'm curious to see what they did here to compensate for the Game Boy's, let's charitably call it, limited color palette. I kinda love the colorful yet realistic design that they have for the box art. It's funny, a lot of the games in the series did this, with more CGI-rendered covers to make you think you're playing something with cutting-edge graphics, and then boom, cartoon dinosaurs. Can this puzzle classic hold up on the Game Boy? Let's bust open Bust-A-Move 2. Well, that's a very simple ident screen. Taito, Acclaim were involved somehow, so was Probe. Bust-A-Move 2. Oh, I like this music. Yeah, the lack of color is throwing me. Just because Bust-A-Move / Puzzle Bobble, I'll be using both interchangeably just to annoy you, is so colorful. But let's see how the gameplay is. Let's go. Game starts. Oh my god, that is adorable. Look at Bub. Oh, it's like an actual path. This way. Ready, go. Okay, so we have a white one. Oh! Man, I'm good at this game. Hey! He's animated pretty well. Well, the game actually plays really smoothly. Yeah, there's no noticeable lag. It's handling the... Uh-oh. What? Oh, is the top level gonna come down? Yep. But yeah, they did manage to make it pretty smooth, which is nice. And it's kind of what you need. And honestly, graphically, they went with the right move. Like, rather than have, try to represent different colors, they just went with different shapes and patterns on the inside of the ball. Bam. Oh, beautiful. Oh! And if you hold B, you can move it in tiny increments. I forget if the arcade version had the guide on it. Bonus is nothing. Oh, why do you have to say the things that hurt me so? Catchy music, too. And dead. Time is 18 seconds. Bonus is... Oh, we got a big boy bonus that time. The only real issue I'm seeing is that sometimes the patterns are a little hard to tell apart. Not by much, but a couple of them are a bit similar. But even that's more of a nitpick than anything. Oh, why did I put that there? Oh, God. I'm puzzle bobbling awful. Oh, if we can get this shot. Darn it. Uh-oh. Problems. That ceiling is getting mighty close. Oh, we're fine. I wonder how many levels are in each, level. Because we went to B, right? Okay, it doesn't appear to be a way to turn on the guide. Which I guess makes sense. The guide does kinda take away 90% of the difficulty. I think some of the newer games have the guide on by default. But yeah, these original ones, they're like, nope, you gotta puzzle it all yourself. Bub is looking really nervous down there. I know, Bub, I'm working on it. There we go, that should help. The music is kinda perfect. It's like whimsical, but also kind of relaxing. It's like that perfect intersection that you want. I don't know if it's a direct recreation of the SNES music, though. It might be. Okay, there we go. Phew. Puzzle Bobble is tense. Okay, so I think it's like 5 levels. This way. Wow, there's a bunch of stages. Actually, I'd like to check something. What's time attack like? Enter password, B space 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 C. Oh, and you can pick your, what round you start on. That's cool. Let's go with this one. Oh god, the counting clock up there is way more stressful than I was expecting it to be. World's greatest Bust-A-Move player. That's something I've wondered. Why did they change the name? Like, I guess because they were worried the name Puzzle Bobble wouldn't sell in the 90s when everything had to be cool and radical and awesome. But, like, at the end of the day, it's Puzzle Bobble. It's Bubble Bobble with puzzles. Therefore, it is Puzzle Bobble. I do occasionally like loading up the original arcade version of Puzzle Bobble. That is the one thing this game is missing, is that sort of, like I said, the color that one had. But I can't really hold it against the game. It's on the Game Boy. They hadn't invented colors yet. But I do see why they made another version of Puzzle Bobble Bust-A-Move 4 for the Game Boy Color. I'm looking forward to when we get to that one. Now, all they need to do is have the color and they'll be golden. Okay, greatest shot ever. I may have overestimated that shot. I regret everything. Oh no! Oh no. Bub, you are in serious trouble and it's entirely my fault. Aw, I'm so sorry, Bub. Yeah, really? Not much to say, not much to complain about. Bust-A-Move, Puzzle Bobble, whatever you want to call it. They did it really well on the Game Boy. Good work, Bub. Since, as we all know, Bub down there is, of course, the programmer of the game. I mean, come on, that's just common knowledge. Another win for the Bust-A-Bobble games, or Puzzle Move, whatever. My biggest concerns with bringing the franchise to the Game Boy is that the handheld only had a few shades of gray to work with, and oftentimes struggled with the kind of quick gameplay that Puzzle Bobble was known for. But thankfully they were able to convert the game just fine, granted with a couple changes to make it work. Those changes thankfully weren't to gameplay, as it remained almost entirely intact from the original release, with quick gameplay and responsive controls, as well as a surprising amount of depth between time attack and a branching arcade mode that, believe it or not, has multiple endings. And while the lack of color does hurt the game, replacing it with shapes is more than an adequate workaround, leaving us with a great version of Puzzle Bobble. So let's take a step back for a more broad analysis. What makes Puzzle Bobble in general such a good game? Well, it's the perfect intersection of thoughtful and quick gameplay, making it an ideal puzzle game. You have enough time to decide where to shoot for the most effectiveness, but if you take too much time, the ball fires on its own. And between the ceiling coming down and you potentially not getting the right ball to fire, it creates perfect escalating tension without changing the gameplay much. And with tons of levels, replayability, and a few different modes, it's the kind of total package game that you're going to get a ton of play out of. Puzzle Bobble, Bust-A-Move, whatever you want to call the franchise, it's a great and memorable series, and the Game Boy release did not disappoint. Maybe it's missing the colors, but it's still a fantastic recreation of one of the most fun and beloved puzzle games of all time. Now, if only there were some handheld system that could give the game the color it deserved. Oh wait! And that's all for another episode of Game Boy Roulette. Make sure to like the video, comment, and subscribe to follow the series as we continue to dig through the Game Boy vault. I'm Brian J, and I'll see you next time.